This will be the first video in a series of many videos helping you learn and understand the use of RStudio and coding in this course. So again, we require students to do their descriptive statistics, inferential statistics, and data visualizations in RStudio. These are free programs that work on multiple platforms. So whether you have a desktop, a laptop, a PC, a Mac, Linux, or if you have just a smartphone and a tablet, there's a version that works for those as well. So it works on all of these platforms. Everyone's using the same version, so functionality is the same. The biggest motivation here is that as the use of AI, open source and coding platforms increases, more and more employers are going to want applicants that know at least one coding language or can be functional in the coding environment. And so we use R and RStudio to help teach you how to code and understand coding, but it also helps you understand the statistical methods that we're using and to be able to describe and visualize data. So there's lots of benefits for doing this. There's no cost to you, and it'll help provide you job skills for when you finish here at NDSU. Again, there's two main options here. If you have ready access to a laptop that you can bring to class, or if you're going to do all your coding at home and you have a desktop, then we will actually download and physically install these programs on that device. If you do not have a device, don't worry. There is a cloud version that will allow you to code on your smartphone or tablet. You will have to access a computer to upload your files to the cloud. So the data files that we generate in class, you'll need to upload those to the cloud beforehand or using one of the classroom computers. But you can then, once the file is uploaded, do all the coding and analysis from your smartphone or tablet. Okay. So those are the two main options that we're going to go through. Most of the instructors will be using the RStudio laptop version for Windows. And so those will be primarily what the tutorials focus on because that's what the majority of us use. We will show you some basics in RStudio Cloud. There's not a ton of differences, right? And we will have some videos aimed at our Mac users, as students that use Macs tend to struggle early on with loading files and getting started. Otherwise, the coding's the same regardless of the platform. Okay. You should all have access to this document with the links. First and foremost is to download and install R. R is the actual program. This is the coding program or the coding environment that we're going to be doing. RStudio is simply the interface that we use to interact with R. RStudio is a much more user-friendly environment, but it doesn't actually do the running. It just tells R in the background to do what we're asking it to do. So if we don't have R installed, we can't use RStudio. Okay? And again, this is in the physical laptop or desktop form. So the most common mistake students make is skipping this part, even though this video always tells them to do it, and they just don't download RStudio. RStudio will not work without R being present on the same machine. Okay? So we follow this first link that takes you to this page and asks you to download and install R. We have a link for each of the operating systems, Linux, Mac, and Windows. Again, I am a PC user. I will be using the Windows version. The majority of the tutorials, since they're done by me, will be using the Windows version. We will try to make some videos for the Mac users as well, but not all of them. Okay? So if we click on this, we want base R, and you can click install R for the first time. Okay. If it asks you to pick a CRAN, a location, A list will pop up with all the locations you can use to download. I typically pick one from the US, and I usually choose Iowa for multiple reasons, but this is just where you're downloading from. Okay, so it shouldn't be a big deal. If we download the file, you should see this R-4.3.2 win exec. That's the Windows version. Obviously, if you're not downloading the Windows version, you shouldn't see that. I need to open and then go through the installation process of that file. Okay. Again, downloading it does nothing if I haven't installed it. Okay. So you need to download that file and then install it. We will never physically open up the R program. I can show you what that looks like right here. This is R. I just got finished updating all my packages. And now it closed on me. Okay. But R, it runs in the background. It has to be downloaded. It has to be installed, but we never open it up. Okay. The program we use to interface with R is RStudio. Okay. And so that's what we do second, is download RStudio. So if we click on that link, that takes us to actually this page. Okay. And we see right in the top corner to download RStudio. We click on that. Okay. We just want RStudio. We don't want the server, right? So we want RStudio desktop. Okay. It's going to tell you to install R first. We just did that. This is going to take you to the same page that I linked you to. Okay. Because again, you have to have R downloaded and installed on your machine in order for RStudio to work. And then it tells you to install RStudio. Again, this is for Windows, but if we scroll down, now you can see here's for Windows 10, 11, here's Mac, here's all of the operating systems that we have files for. Download the file that fits your operating system. If you're a Mac user, you want this one, right? If you're a Windows user, you want this one. Okay? So we want to download that file, and once again, here's my RStudio 2023 December. Okay? I would open up and run that installer to install RStudio. Okay? Just like we did with R, we downloaded the file, then we installed the file. RStudio, we download the file, install the file. Again, making sure we use the versions that match our operating system. RStudio looks something like this. Now, when you open up the first time, you'll see 3 windows. You won't see all of these files here. You should see something that's blank because you haven't used it before. There are generally going to be 4 windows that we see when we use RStudio. The first time we open it, we only see 3 windows. This is the console. This is where all the output occurs. This is the environment pane or environment window, which gives us history, the files, okay? And then this is our file or plots window. So we can see all the files that we've loaded. We can see the plots that we've created. That's in this window. Generally, the order is the environment in the upper right, the file in the lower right, and then the console takes up all of the left. But we're going to do a new file, a new R script, and that opens up by default in the top left. The console then defaults to the bottom left. Yours may have different colors on that. We can actually pick, so if we go to global options, there's color schemes, so we can go to appearance. And you can select different appearances for your RStudio. I prefer to have a dark background with sort of lighter lettering. Okay. You can pick whatever format works best for you. The default, I believe, is white background with black lettering. Okay. This source window now that is on the top, so we've got the source here, the console here, the environment here, and the plots or file pane here. And the source is where we do the actual coding. You can actually code in the console, but as soon as you hit return, it runs it. By coding in the source pane or the source window, we can type out all of our code and then run it individually. This is easier or more appropriate for those new to the coding environment because mistakes can be corrected more easily and readily than typing directly into the console window. So remember, we have to open up our script, and now we have 4 windows in RStudio, and this upper left window is where we do the coding. The lower left window is where the output comes out. So our results, our plots will come out here. Okay? We'll get more into that in subsequent videos, but now we should know that we've installed RStudio correctly. Again, making sure we've already downloaded and installed R beforehand. Okay? If you do not have a laptop or desktop at your disposal, again, that's fine. We can use a cloud-based version. Or even if you have a laptop at your disposal, but you'd rather use a tablet in class, you can use the cloud-based version. So we can click here. That will take us to Posit Cloud. Okay? It's going to ask you to, this is going to be a login basis. Okay? So since you likely do not have it, you're going to click on Get Started. Right? We want the free version. Okay? At some point in your career at NDSU, you may be asked to create a student account that charges you. We do not charge you. Okay? In the cloud free version, you get 25 projects, 25 hours per month. That's more than you're going to need for a single class generally. My class, I guarantee you won't need more than 24 hours a month or 25 hours a month to get everything done. Okay? And 25 projects, we won't get anywhere near that. So again, use the free version. Don't sign up for a pay version. Okay? So we can click on Learn More, and then you can sign up there. Okay? I've obviously already have an account, so when I log in, it looks something like this, which is very much different than what you would expect. Okay? I'm going to actually get rid of this project. I'm going to click New Project and just click New RStudio Project. This will take a while. Okay, so it takes a little bit to set up the environment. Again, it's cloud-based. You might run into some lag sometimes if your connection or their server is busy, right? But otherwise, functionality, it is very much the same as the physical version of RStudio. Okay, the big difference here is we have to upload files to the cloud. You can't just have them on a computer somewhere. You have to upload them. Okay, and I'll go through that in a separate video on getting started. But you'll also notice as this is loading, let me open this, that there's a learner's guide and another video. This video is the video is a bit long and from another university, but it's a math professor's video. He does a nice job of talking about how to get this set up, right? But now you can see that I've got the console, the environment, and the files window, and I can just do a new R script. Okay? And now I've got 4 windows here on my browser, the same that I would have on RStudio. Okay? This is what RStudio default generally looks like, the white background with black text. Again, I changed my appearance in RStudio. Okay? So at this point, you're ready to go in RStudio or RStudio Cloud. The other videos and class time will cover the actual coding and things we'll be doing. But at this point, you should be ready to start.